Greetings and welcome to Conflict Radio. Well, greetings and hello everybody. Today is August 2nd, 2021. Welcome to Conflict Radio. Today is my son's birthday, so I want to give a shout out to him. Trent, happy birthday. He's 24 years old today. If you can believe I have a 24-year-old son, I do. All right, today on the show we've got Cristina Gomez joining us. So let me work on getting this picture up here that doesn't seem to want to go up. Let me click there, and then I'm going to click here, and then I got to click here. Okay, all right, so we're all set. Let me give a shout out here to everybody in the chat room. We've got Mr. Fox on the phone. Jack D. Whiskey is here. Akram Musa. Hugh Godarn. Mr. Paul Beska, how you doing? War Deer Entertainment, I see ya. Hugh Hound of the Valner, hi, how you doing? I saw the Happy Plague Doctor was in here earlier. Rebelliously Curious George. Did I say that already? I'm not really sure. Anyway, today on the program we've got Cristina Gomez, and Cristina has become fascinated with the concept of alien life at a very young age, but it wasn't until high school that her interest became serious. Cristina is in college now, studying for a BA degree in business and communications. She began her own YouTube channel to scrutinize public UFO sighting videos submitted to a variety of platforms using video software. She slowed down the footage, zoomed in, and stabilized and enhanced, and would post the results for others to study. So basically, she's really come a long way very fast. In March of 2021, Cristina began working with the team at the Debrief, producing video content featuring interviews with prominent figures in the UFO research community, such as Lue Elizondo and James Fox. And she's also appeared on Creepy Little Book with Pete and Fade to Black with Jimmy Church. You're working on your first book. Cristina, how are you? How's it going?
Man, I am doing okay. A little bit sweaty, a little bit nervous, but that's the norm.
You're nervous about coming on the Conflict Radio? It should be a breeze.
I'm always nervous.
We've had I want to give a shout out to everybody listening that waited anxiously last night for an hour for the show to start, just to find our guest never showed up. And then we decided to just go live and do open lines, and Travis Walton actually called into the show. Did you hear that, Cristina?
What a surprise. I listened to it and I was so shocked and honestly incredibly happy for you. I mean, what a treat to get Travis Walton just to call in on your show.
Right?
That's so cool.
Hey, we got open lines. Anybody can give a call, and who calls but Travis Walton? So what a great time that was. If anybody hasn't heard that, go back and give that a listen. What a fascinating
give it
surprise.
a like.
Yeah,
while you're at it, because
it was funny.
It's
I don't
cool.
know if you could hear me at first, but he was like, "Hey, this is Travis Walton calling in," and I'm like, "Yeah, haha, Travis Walton, haha." It's real funny,
like,
real
sure.
Mister. And sure enough, it was him, and he actually called in. Now we don't have you for very long tonight. We've got you, I guess, for about 40 more minutes because I've already eaten up 5 minutes of our time. So I guess let's get right into this. You have come virtually out of nowhere into the UFO field, and what has that been like for you? I mean, to just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden here you are everywhere.
So originally, before I was the UFO girl, I used to make music on my YouTube channel. So if you go to like old history, you'll see I used to make like ASMR sleep music, Interstellar Odyssey music, alien music, things of that nature, because I made it really for myself because I have insomnia. And then I started to get really serious about doing UFO sightings, really trying to enhance the footage and have people come to their own conclusions on what they think it is, but with something a little bit more clear. So people are like, oh my gosh, Cristina came out of nowhere. And because of that, they just assume I'm a disinformation CIA agent. And I'm thinking, I don't think I've said anything that could possibly give someone that idea. So everything did happen so incredibly quickly. I never thought I would be where I am today at this moment, like less than a year of having my doing my YouTube channel, right, with UFO sightings. So it's shocking even for me. Really is.
Yeah, it's great because we needed some new blood in the UFO community, and you coming around is kind of refreshing. You know what I mean? Like you have the same old people over and over and over again, and now we finally have some fresh blood coming out, and it's great to actually be able to tune into your channels and stuff. And what do you think of Creepy Little Pete? Or Creepy Little Book, I guess.
By the name of Pete. Oh man, I really enjoy his shows. He plays them really late at night, so if I get sleepy, I know what to listen to, or I'll tune in. But it really does shock me that he's able to create a show 365 days a year. And I always say that on my show because he's a moderator. But his stuff is always interesting. I love tuning in when I can.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. So, okay, so let's get right down to it.
Okay.
What is going on in the UAP community? It seems like, I guess, UAP, UFO, whatever. What is going? It seems like there's a lot of infighting going on with this whole, I guess, Travis Walton thing. Have you been following that at all with the Mike Heston Rogers and everything else that's been going on with that? It seems like it's coming out fast and furious. What do you think really happened that night?
I haven't followed too much into it because, look, I believe Travis. I don't care what anyone else says. This man, why would he be lying for 45 plus years and still on his story? So hearing other people's quote unquote gossip, I don't care for it. There's absolutely no evidence behind it. It's all just hearsay. So I kind of just throw it out the window as something irrelevant to listen to. But I did listen to your show yesterday, and I also did hear Travis on Fade to Black, and I think it's as he says, preposterous. It's absolutely absurd that people could even assume that what he's doing is a hoax after 45 years.
Yeah, and after talking to him, I was kind of thinking, like, I kind of probably don't want to really contribute to this and have Mike on, because it seems like I'd be taking advantage of, I guess, an older guy that's maybe kind of, I guess, losing his marbles a little bit. Is that fair to say?
I mean, with age, right? Our brain just deteriorates over time. So it's possible. I don't know too much about Mike, again, because I don't really follow this whole gossip train. But from what I heard yesterday, it's rather unfortunate that he is losing it a little bit and people are taking advantage of him for it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think they're trying to get him fired up over money and this, that, and another thing, trying to get him to attack Travis. And I could honestly go through our interview tonight and piece together different words that you say to make it sound like you're saying something totally different. If I really wanted to, I could totally do that. Anybody could. For any of us that talk on the radio all the time.
That's right. And it's disgusting, but it's just the way a lot of people work. It creates gossip, it creates money, and something to talk about, really. That's all it is. It's just something to bring up in the dinner table and be like, oh, did you hear this? Blah, 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 blah. And it's just something to talk about.
All right. So let's move. I guess we'll move away from that a little bit. I want to talk about your YouTube channel, Paradigm Shifts. That's not what it's called. It's called Cristina Gomez, but Paradigm Shifts is basically the topic of the thing. Do you think that we're undergoing a shift in consciousness as humanity?
A shift in consciousness with everything that's going on, with all the access that we have to the internet, all the information that we have at our fingertips. We're definitely in a moment that is shifting everyone's paradigm. Now, when it comes to consciousness, I think it really just depends on who you ask. If you were to ask me, I would say yes, with a lot of UFO sightings, people really talking out about it, and all of these things. It's really changing our perspective on what else is out there and really asking the questions, why are they visiting us and who's piloting these crafts?
Yeah, because there's a theory out there that you're not going to be able to see UFOs or Bigfoot or ghosts, say, or any of these other, I guess, cryptids or beings out there because our consciousness just isn't able to process it. And once we graduate, I guess, or if that's the word, once we shift our consciousness into a new reality, then we'll be able to see them. It's just that our brains can't process what is really out there, and some people are ahead of us in the advancement of their consciousness, that they're able to see these things. Is that what you think?
That's a really interesting take, and I would say yes, we do have different realms. This has been proven by science. Now, there are going to be some Bigfoot, some UFOs, some alien species are going to be three-dimensional that we can go ahead and see. And then there might be others, based off of speculation, that might be able to function through the third, fourth, and other dimensions that we simply cannot see at this current point in time due to our development of the brain. Now, can that change? I think so. I think that can change. It just depends on when. And I don't know that answer.
Yeah. All right.
Because, I mean, right now, sorry, Michael, but I'm going to finish this off. But right now, there's this really big, new age wave of people saying, oh, yeah, we're all going to come to this new consciousness at some point. Like, do you feel the vibrations of the earth and follow the full moon and stuff? And look, I'm not saying that's not correct or anything, but I feel like it's really just more of a different kind of belief system at this moment in time versus scientific fact.
Yeah, so that's one way of looking at it, I suppose. But you always have people that have seen a UFO are more likely to see a shadow person, say, or somebody that's seen a ghost is more likely to see a UFO. Have you noticed that in your research?
I have not. I have heard a few stories of people that encounter UFOs or have been abducted, do see them more often, maybe because they're being watched. Now, with people that may possibly see ghosts or shadow people, a possibility to why they might see them more frequently than other people is because they know what to look for by not looking. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you experience something at least once, it's going to slightly change your perspective on things. And then from there, you're able to see things that maybe other people can't see because they simply have not had that experience yet.
Okay. All right. So what got you started? What got you all involved with the Debrief? How did that all come about?
It's a funny story, really. I was having my channel. It was still kind of new, shifting the paradigm, paradigm shifts, which I did end up changing to my name, Christina Gomez, so it is easier for people to find. And Tim McMillan liked my channel, and he said, hey, do you want to work for the Debrief? I said, sure. And that's the end of the story. It's nothing really that interesting.
So they just messaged you like, hey, you want to be a part of this? And you're like, sure.
Yep, that's exactly how it went. Because pretty much they liked what I made. They liked my content. I guess they probably searched me up on social media and they're like, well, she doesn't look like a crazy. I think she'll be great for the Debrief.
All right. I noticed that you interviewed Lue Elizondo. And I wanted to ask you, because we've had guests on here before talking about the possibility that there was going to be like a controlled narrative of the UFO topic. Okay, so a lot of people think and are talking about how Lue is really kind of the government's arm in leading the UFO researchers towards in a certain direction. What is your sense on that? What do you think?
If it's a certain direction, I mean, do you think it's the right direction or the incorrect direction?
It's going. He's taking everybody in the incorrect direction. He's just he's giving everybody the government narrative of what's going on.
I know Lue Elizondo firsthand.
Yeah,
I
that's
classify
why I'm
him as a
asking.
friend of mine, and I have to disagree. I don't see him as a disinformation agent. If anything, I see him as one of the most compassionate people that will go on anyone's show, regardless if you have 5 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. He doesn't care. The point that he's trying to get across, at least from what I understand, is just getting the conversation going, getting the ball rolling for people to have these conversations. And he says over and over again in all of his podcasts when he simply cannot answer a question because it violates his contract with the government, he says, I'm sorry, I simply can't answer that. And I think that's very admirable versus lying or kind of diverting the question altogether. I find him as a very straightforward man, even though in some respects, when he does answer a question, it's very lengthy.
All right, so you say it'll violate his contract with the government. Is he still working for the government?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
Well, then,
But but it is for life, right? All the information that he has working for ATIP, um, all the information that he knows currently, he can't simply give it all out.
yeah,
At
but
least not, I guess, not now.
he leaked, didn't he leak the information that they had all this this debris from UFO craft stored in a warehouse somewhere?
No, so he didn't leak it, and he's not a whistleblower either. He was given permission to go ahead and release the information. Otherwise, he would be in prison, right, if he went ahead and leaked it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there has been leaks though related to I guess the whole Academy of the Stars thing, right? Like
Not something that I haven't looked into too deeply
the
when it comes
videos
to the Academy of the
the Tic
Stars.
Tac video that first came out and all of that. I mean, that was originally all leaked. It wasn't declassified when it came out.
See, I didn't hear that, but I do know that the Pentagon did go ahead and say that that is authentic footage.
Yeah, after like a year.
Well, I mean, they're not the fastest people.
Yeah, they certainly are not.
They take their time. I mean, look at all the FOIA,
Yeah.
right? All the FOIA paperwork that John Greenwald Jr. is trying to get out. It takes him years upon years upon years just to get a few pages.
So what do you think? Do you think there's really UFOs and aliens out there?
Look, I mean, if we really look at it, if we even look at the mathematics, and you're going to hear this 1,000 times, and you're probably tired of hearing it, but we're not the only beings out there. That would be incredibly dumb. It's selfish. It's egocentric, and everything in between. Yes, there are, without a doubt, other life, other life out there in the universe. Now, are they visiting us? I think so, and I diddly darn hope so too, because then life would be so boring here. I don't want to watch the Kardashians all day when I know that out there are so many more interesting things to think about.
Oh, there definitely is a lot more interesting things in the Kardashians, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. It actually blew me away when I interviewed Preston Dennett. He was like, yeah, so I actually was on their Kardashian show when trying to help them do First Contact. I was like, what?
Oh.
I bashed them so hard, and they're like, you were on the show? He was like, yeah, they're nice people. I'm like, okay.
All right, so let me just let everybody know we don't have Christina for long, so I see that you guys are already flooding the chat box with questions. So why don't we hit up some of them here?
Okay.
Go ahead and put it in caps, guys, so I can find it better. The Happy Plague Doctor wants to know, what do you think about cattle mutilations?
Well, the person to ask that question is Linda Moulton Howe. Yeah, she is the expert. What do I think about it? I think it's very interesting. I think it's possible that half of it could be extraterrestrial, maybe the other half could be human.
All right, and
but I don't have. Go ahead.
All right, so I hear what you're saying about the cattle mutilations. I was just throwing out there. Hugo Darn wants to know if you've been abducted before.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, have you ever seen anything paranormal? Have you ever looked at the night sky with the night vision goggles?
Oh, all the time.
Do you ever catch
All
anything with
the
them?
time. Not yet. At least nothing on video yet, but hopefully that'll change. I'm excited. I have a lot of future plans and projects while it gets a little bit cooler out to go do more boots on the ground research and hopefully getting certain kind of equipment that I'm able to see in the dark but also record at the same time. I am excited for that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat if we can actually. I mean, I heard that, there are certain, I guess, events like it contacted the desert and stuff, where somebody has like those goggles out there. You can go out there and look at the sky for a little bit. And I heard it's just crazy up there, like the amount of stuff that's flying around.
See, I didn't know that. I know that there's definitely a lot of satellites out there, and that can easily be considered UFOs. So we just got to make sure about that. And it's so important for those that are listening. If you are going to do night sky watches, please download satellite apps so that you know where satellites are along with airplanes so that you do not misidentify what you see in the sky. And that's really going to change your journey while you're out there sky watching.
All right, and thanks, Jack D. Whiskey, for the super chat.
Nice.
Thoughts, Christina, on CE5?
Oh, hey, Jack. I know you. So I have answered this quite a few times, and my thoughts on CE5 is, and I'll say it again, it's nothing new. Stephen Greer didn't invent it. It's ancient Vedic practice. And look, if you want to go ahead and meditate with intention to go contact aliens, do it. That's awesome. I personally meditate very, very frequently because I have to. It's very important for my mindfulness to be able to do all the things that I do, but also to maintain my verbal dyslexia and my stutter. So I have to meditate in order to keep that under wraps. Now, have I practiced CE5? Not yet. It's not something that I have currently done, but it might be something I will possibly do in the future. I just need to have a little bit more confidence and a little bit stronger intention to go ahead and go out there and really hope that it does happen. That'd be awesome.
So what do you think of Greer and all of his theories? Did you watch that movie he did?
What was it called? I think I did watch it, but I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember what it was called either. It was just on, I think it's on Amazon or something. I forget where I watched it and what the name of it was. But how he was
so
talking
bad.
about, they're working with the government and this, that, and another thing. What do you think of that? Do you think the government's actually working with these things?
I mean, wouldn't that be wise? If these things are coming to visit us, right, that means they're obviously a lot more intelligent than we are for them to be able to travel from one planet to the other, right, in a shorter period of time than what we travel with our rockets, which is incredibly slow. So if that was the case, and if the government really did use CE5 to contact these beings, I think that's pretty darn smart to go ahead and try to get the information that you can from these guys.
Well, I mean, they can't be helping us too much. I mean, you think they would provide us with some cures for certain diseases and things, maybe help us out a little bit down here, unless they can't figure us out and don't know how to cure us of certain diseases.
Well, we can think of it like in the show Star Trek, okay? There is first contact protocols. You can't really get too involved into the aliens' environment or society because you're going to go ahead and shock them. You're going to shock their society altogether. So I think it's progressive. It's bits and pieces, little baby steps to go from where they are to where they want to be. But again, this is all speculation. I don't have contact with an alien and being like, hey, so when are you going to give me the cure for all my ailments? I'm ready. I don't want to die anytime soon. Things like this. I don't have that kind of access.
Yeah, in Star Trek, I think that's called the Prime Directive.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm right. My chat followers will let me know if I'm wrong. All right, so Vash Wolfward wants to know, what events or people are you looking forward to investigate or interview in the future?
Oh, gosh. All of the above. I've been really lucky so far to be interviewing some people that I truly admire, their research. So the sky is really the limit. I have no like real preference, right? Like I will interview everyone and anyone that says yes, and that hopefully can not only help me understand the topic better, but also help my generation. You know, I come from Gen Z. I'm only 22 years old. People that are my age that are interested in the topic kind of just recently got interested in it because of all the media that has given it exposure. These people overall, right, are not incredibly educated with this topic, myself included. So I will interview anyone that will go ahead and be kind enough to make their research very simplified for absolutely anyone to understand. And but also to light a fire in them to go ahead and ask more questions and to be more curious on what's going on out there. And I think that asking those questions, but by also being educated, is what will be lifting our consciousness as a humanity.
You know, I heard that Generation Z is actually the best generation since Generation X. You guys have really got your stuff together.
Depends who you ask. I mean, yes, we do have a lot of access to the internet, movies. We all grew up, right? I mean, people in my generation grew up with alien movies, alien TV shows, alien comedies, blah, blah, blah. So we don't really question, like, are aliens real? We know they're real. Obviously, we're like, yeah, whatever, it's a dumb question. I'm not saying that's the case, you know, for everyone, but I'm just very generally speaking for people, okay? But what I'm getting at is, yes, my generation believes that aliens are real, but they don't know the history behind it. And I think that's very important for those that want to really dive into the UFO topic. It's the history, it's the science, it's even the religion if you want to add that into it as well. It's all the little bits and pieces.
Well, that's an interesting thought to bring up is religion. I mean, how do you think that disclosure is going to affect religion?
That's a really hard question. Even though I brought that up about religion, it's not something that I've really dived into about aliens and religion because you're going to have a lot of controversial beliefs on it. Some are going to say, oh, all aliens are demons. Some are going to say all aliens are saviors. Some are going to say, you know, aliens are gods, this, that, and the other. It really just depends on the person. And when we're saying how is aliens going to affect religion, it's already creating a new one.
Yeah.
Creating a new dogma.
All right. I'm reading a comment here. Mr. Fox, I read your thing here, what you say that Generation Z did for over a year. I don't think that's true. I think that was Y. To be honest with you, I think that was mostly Y. Y is the generation of, I guess, can I say entitlement? Is that a right word? What do you think?
Well, can you repeat the question? Sorry, I didn't understand it.
Mr. Fox says Generation Z has been out rioting for over a year, and I said I disagree with that. I think it was more of the Generation Z is more of your age down, right?
Yeah, and that's a really interesting point. You're just lumping a bunch of people in one category. Not all of Generation Z is going rioting. I know I'm that generation, and I stay home and eat ice cream all day and research.
Yeah,
obviously I don't
I don't think he can classify that into a certain generation. It was a kind of a little bit of nutty on from all the generations here. So rebelliously curious George wants to know, what is the most intriguing case you have encountered so far? And he says, P.S. RCG says hi.
Hey George, how you doing? The most interesting case I've studied, there's quite a few. But I mean, look, my favorite by far would honestly be still Travis Walton or Whitley Strieber. Yes, they're old. Yes, they're incredibly famous and popular, but they're one of my favorites.
Yeah, you know, Whitley Strieber was great with his Dreamland show. I remember listening to that. I was listening to Whitley Strieber before Art Bell, I think, back in the day.
He's good. I think he's going to be on Fade to Black today.
Say what now?
I think he's going to be on Fade to Black today or sometime this week.
Oh, that'll be fun. I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah.
So Whitley
Oh,
Strieber
I'll be
on
there.
Fade to Black. Okay, I guess I asked that question already. Have you had a chance to talk to Jeremy Corbell or George Knapp yet? Jack D. Whiskey wants to know.
I've tried.
Yes,
I've tried, and we'll just leave it at that.
Some of them they were not going to message you back. You'll send them. I'll send some of these people like 20, 30 emails in like a month, and I just get nothing.
Yeah, well, no, I don't want to answer that.
Get some more subscribers. Maybe they'll be interested, right?
It's too late. The train already left.
Right? That's what I say. Like, you're like, have Linda Moulton Howe on. I'm like, she won't answer my emails. So I don't know what to say on that. I guess I'm not popular enough for her. But maybe she'll write me now that Travis Walton called into my show.
Right. I mean, I think they're friends, but just a lot of these older people, right? They've been in it for years, and I guess we're still classified as newbies. That we just simply don't have the knowledge that maybe that they're looking for. This is merely an assumption, so I can understand their standpoint of maybe why they don't contact certain people, because they probably get hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of emails a day by people like us. So I can get it.
Yeah,
I really can.
I totally do, but I just think it's funny because you and I will be having tribute shows for these people one day, and we'll be like, yeah, they never could come on the show, but I guess we've got all their listeners now, in 20, 30 years. All right,
Damn,
so
that's some dark humor right there.
well, I mean, it's true though, right? I mean, the young people are going to wind up inheriting all this anyway, so, that's just the way it is. Mr. Fox, I can't ask that question.
And that goes for any topic, including, sports, radioing. I mean, whatever you want to talk about, the young people are eventually going to overtake those that have been doing it for years. But that is why it is so important for the younger generation, or whoever you are, to really listen and research the work that people have done before you, right? That's going to make your job easier, but you're also being a lot more educated to give your generation or your listeners even better information than that those ahead of you could give.
Yeah. Well, because we learned everything that they already taught us everything that they know, right? We're just kind of
exactly just
moving
like parents.
into our own. Yeah. Well, talking about parents, have your parents learned of your endeavors yet online?
Not yet. No, it's still a secret.
Were you just waiting for them to find out one day? Like, oh my goodness, like our daughter is like this famous UFO girl.
I'm not famous. Definitely not famous.
Well,
but
you're getting there. You're like soaring through the ranks here. Wait. Okay, so next year, right?
I've been very blessed. I'll probably end up telling my parents once I graduate. Coming from a Latin background, my mom being Venezuelan, my dad being Mexican American, college is so important to them. Graduating, getting a degree, doing all that stuff is incredibly important. So this kind of topic, the UFO topic, or anything that takes up more than an hour of my time, is merely a distraction to them. No matter how great I may be doing, nothing really matters until that degree is like in my hand. You know what I mean? So I will end up telling them when I graduate, but I know that if they end up finding out beforehand, they'll end up being my biggest cheerleaders after screaming in my ear of not telling them.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And then waving the chancleta, the flip-flop, and be like, "Mija, why you don't tell me?"
You're studying communication, right? I mean, isn't that what you're doing? You're communicating.
Smooth.
I mean, right? It's a project for school. You're communicating.
It's a project for school, a very long, lifelong project.
All right. So, Vash Wolfword wants to know, would you visit the Skinwalker Ranch even if something might follow you home after?
Heck yeah. If it follows me home, I'll have another pet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. But yeah, absolutely. Look, Skinwalker Ranch is a very, very interesting place. You have a little bit of everything. And like I've said before, it's not the only place in the world that has things very similar. These are across the globe, these kinds of hot spots that have UFOs, cryptids, ghosts, all of these kinds of things. So if I had access to Skinwalker Ranch, if Brandon Fugal and I become bros, look, I'm going to stop by and be like, hey, I'm camping out. But until then, maybe I'll just travel to Romania or something and check out that one.
Well, what's in Romania?
Romania, there is another kind of similar hotspot called, and I know I'm going to butcher it, but it's called the Hoya Baciu. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's classified as one of the most haunted forests in the world, and you see UFO sightings, you see shadow people, ghosts, screaming apparitions as well,
Those are
and along
banshees.
with quite a few other things. And people that are locals believe it to be truly haunted. They do not enter it. You only have the crazy foreigners that are going to go into that forest
Yeah.
because they like the thrill, right? Scariness. But it in some respects it is it's kind of similar to Skinwalker Ranch, except it's surrounded by trees and forest versus desert.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I've actually heard of that forest now that you mention it. Not, I guess I just didn't recall the name of it, but I've heard of that haunted forest out there. And those screaming apparitions are called banshees. It's kind of
Is that what they're all called?
if it's screaming, it's like a screaming ghost. It's or it'll be a screaming head. Yeah, that's what a banshee is. See, we both learned something
Okay.
today.
See, no, I didn't know that when I was doing my research. I never used that word. That's interesting. You said there
Banshee,
was like screaming women, and so does that mean screaming women are also banshees?
if it's an apparition.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, that's what a banshee is. Yeah. Well, that's pretty neat.
Thank.
Well, I mean, that's why we're here. We both learned something. Sir Wolf is saying
Woohoo.
banshees is Irish. No, not according to some paranormal people that I've had on that are all into ghosts. Banshees are the screaming ghosts, the screaming heads. If you see one, it normally means death is near for you or a loved one. So that's something
Ooh,
to keep in mind. Let me ask you a question. What scares you the most in this field? What are you most afraid of?
drowning.
I mean, in the field.
Still drowning. With all the rain. That's it. Nothing else is that scary. Oh, and flying cockroaches.
Flying
Horribly
cockroaches?
scary. Oh, no.
How about like a paranormal subject that frightens you?
No, I mean, if you look at it, or even if you interact with other paranormal researchers, right? These entities, regardless if you think that they're demon or just kind of those that are passing by, because we are in this realm, we do have power over these other entities, these more malevolent, evil entities. And the reason why they scare so many people is because that they believe that they don't have power over these things. So with that kind of mentality, I have no fear. I'm not scared of that. Just flying cockroaches.
All right, and the desolate one says the forest. You said it right. Mention the ring in the center. Is there a ring in the center of it?
Oh yeah, yeah, there is. There is. There's this patch of just grass, like practically dead grass in this like a perfectly round circle surrounded by trees. And it's believed, and I hope I'm correct, but if I'm wrong, please correct me, the desolate one. But it's believed that there was a UFO craft that I think like burned a hole in it or something like that, and nothing can ever grow in that circle. And it's been years upon years, like if not decades, and nothing's grown. Not even animals will pass by that circle, like pass through the circle. And there was this guy from a TV show called Destination Truth, I think, and he went to go. Um, I don't know if it was in that circle. I take it back. I take it back what I said. Never mind. It wasn't in the circle.
Okay.
But yeah, so that circle is really interesting because nothing grows there, and no creatures will pass through it.
All right. David M says we have jumbo flying roaches in Florida.
Guess I'm not going to
Ray of
Florida.
Hope wants to know if you're an occultist.
No.
Okay. Well, gotta ask a question, right? That's
Right? Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
what we do, I suppose. All right. Well, I guess I promised you 45 minutes, and that's it.
Thank you so much.
We gotta let you go. You want to tell everybody where they can find you, and I've got to keep doing a show, so you're just gonna have to hang up and I guess close the door on your way out. I guess if that's one way of putting it.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at Eyes on the Sky. I am most active there. Also on YouTube at Christina Gomez, and you can put a little hyphen and put paradigm shifts as well. I post 2 shows a week. One, Shifting the Paradigm, where I interview UFO researchers and enthusiasts, and then one on Tuesday called Mysteries with a History, where I talk about the fringe, the paranormal, and the supernatural. And the big reason to why I do these shows is not only to entertain those that are watching, but to also really research these topics, because I'm so new to these, just like you guys. There's a lot of things that I simply don't know. I don't have that much knowledge under my belt. So a big reason to why I do these shows is just to kind of focus my research so I don't get sidetracked and end up watching cat videos for 5 hours instead of learning about shadow people.
I can get lost in cat videos. Forget about it. Can I ask you 3 more questions?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, 3 more. Have you had any personal ghost experiences?
Not incredibly personal. The only one that actually, yes, I do have one. It's not really a ghost, but it's like a demon. So I was in college and I just moved in. I didn't have a vacuum cleaner. So I called this girl I used to sit next to in class. At the time, I guess she was my friend. And I said, hey, is it okay if I borrow your vacuum cleaner? She's like, yeah, sure. So I drive over to her apartment, pick up the vacuum cleaner. I bring it home and I leave it near the front door. And I'm like walking around, because I live in like an incredibly tiny college dorm apartment. Like it is small. And I leave the vacuum in, and I used to have this candle like right in front of my like top of my toilet, because it just looked nice. And it fell into the trash can, and I'm like, there's no wind in this bathroom. And it's like a heavy, like fat candle, and I'm like, well, that's weird. So I put it back up from the trash can, and I walk back to the kitchen, and the kitchen's literally 5 feet away. And the candle falls again, and I'm like, oh hell no, I am not having this thing in my house without an invitation. So I like sprinkle some salt on it, because I read that in a book once, and I was like, okay, this has to work. Salt has to work if I put it on top of this candle, having no idea, right?
Yeah.
And the candle falls again, and I'm like, these things didn't happen before I brought this vacuum cleaner in. Now I have it. What do I do? So I start playing a certain kind of chant on my phone to help expel any evil spirits, and you just hear this like screeching sound, and it never happened again. And I returned that vacuum as fast as possible, and I never talked to her again.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
All right, 2 more. ML wants to know, what's the guest view on Corey Good?
I don't understand the question.
All right, I guess Corey Good or whatever. I guess he's got some theories on UFOs and stuff. He's pretty popular. You should check him out.
I will. I will now.
His curious ideas. And the final, my chat's blowing up. We ask this of every guest. Do you know who Corn Pop is?
No.
Okay. Well, Corn Pop is a bad dude.
Okay.
That's just a question we asked every guest. It's kind of kind of our thing here on Conflict Radio. So, all right, well, we're going to let you go. All of the links, everybody, for Christina's stuff is down in the description box below. Definitely go subscribe to her channel. Check her out. She's on Creepy Little Pete quite a bit. Are you going to be on Creepy Little Pete anytime soon? I'm sorry, Creepy Little Book. I don't know why I was saying that.
Not that I know of, but I'm usually when I am there, I'm usually in a live chat.
All right, well, there you go. There you go. All right, everybody. That's Christina. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show today. I'll just let you go.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
All right, thanks. You have a great night, all right?
Bye.
All right, take care. All right, everybody. So that was Cristina Gomez. She doesn't have much time to spend with us today, but I guess I book up pretty far in advance, and she did not cancel on us, unlike other people sometimes do. And that's okay, I suppose. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open up the lines for everybody. If anybody wants to give a call for open lines, Travis Walton. Just kidding. If anybody wants to give a call, go ahead and give a call, and we'll see how it goes. So let's see here. Let me get back into the chat room, and then I can answer if anybody has any questions for me. Yeah, Creepy Little Pete. I don't know why I got that stuck in my head. It's not Creepy Little Pete. It's Creepy Little Book. So definitely check out that channel if you haven't. That's pretty awesome. Creepy Little Pete. Hound of the Valinor. It says he'd like that. I don't know if he would or not. It's kind of funny. So the phone number to call in, if anybody wants to call in, is 256-850-4513. If somebody wants to copy it and put it in the chat box, that'd be fine. Here, I'm going to try to, I guess, let me see if I can't copy it myself and put it in there. So what do you guys think of that show yesterday? I got to bring up the right box so I can see what you guys are saying. All right, so let me put this in here. What do you guys think of that yesterday? You know, you guys were so patient waiting for the show to start with Mike, and then all of a sudden it ended. We got a call already. Hang on, let me answer it here. Conflict Radio, you're on the air. How you doing?
What's up, man?
How are you? Who's this? Where are you calling from?
You know, I'm doing all right. You know, it's Monday. What the fuck can you do?
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is the Happy Plague Doctor. I'm from Nebraska.
Hey, how's it going from Nebraska?
Well, it's pretty nice today. We don't have, like, all the smoke from Canada. Like, man, like this weekend, it was really bad. We had really bad smoke from all the fires. So, what's up with you, man? You had a pretty good guest on.
Who, Christina?
Yeah, she seemed all right.
Yeah, you know, she's making waves out there with the Debrief, so everybody needs to pay attention to her because she's going to be around for a while. She's doing a lot of independent reporting, and she has her own YouTube channel. She does a lot of stuff for the Debrief YouTube channel. Everybody should check it out. She's going to be around a while, and she's going to contribute a lot to this field by the time it's all over with. So we're honored to have her on for a little bit. She's a lot of fun. She's going places in this field, so everybody needs to know who she is.
Redo, you seem kind of low.
I seem low?
I have my... Oh, wait, here. I can probably jam it. Here, let me try. There, now say something.
How's that? Do I sound a little bit better now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Thank you. Sorry, it was on my end.
That's no problem. So I guess we've got a few minutes. You want to talk about something today?
Well, that's, you know, and maybe it's just me. I'm about the same age as you are. You were born in 75, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in 76.
Oh, all right.
What blows my mind is this, and it's kind of it kind of shows with the guest you had on tonight. It's like she doesn't have a lot to say about like the cattle mutilations or rocket planes or all this other stuff we had going on. You know, with like the Northrop flying wing or anything like that. It's like that stuff went somewhere.
Well, to be honest with
I
you,
just feel like
there hasn't really been much cat mutilation stories lately. Have you noticed that? It's kind of, I mean, that subject, I mean, we talked about that 10, maybe 20 years ago, but I haven't seen anything new. I haven't seen new stories of that coming out in years and years. Maybe I'm just missing it.
Right.
But it seems like they've gotten
you're
all.
not.
Huh?
Said you're not missing it, because that was like stories that were handed down to our generations, like stuff our parents experienced. I assume the age group your parents were boomers like mine. Well, our parents grew up out here in the sticks, and stuff like cattle mutilations definitely happened. I mean, they're in newspapers, and whoever came out and looked at them, and they've definitely flown planes into space, and they had flying wings in the 60s. And I'm just like, where is this gap between like the mid 60s and up until present? Okay, delete the stealth fighter, the stealth bomber, yada yada. We got traditional aircraft like what the what the fuck is that new machine? I don't know. Apparently it's a piece of junk. The 35, something 35, F-35.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It is this piece of junk, not worth my time.
I think they stopped making those, actually.
Where is this? I mean, we're pushing on 80 years of aviation technology that they're just not talking about.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about when the stealth bomber first came out, I mean, that was decades ago.
Well, that was the 90s.
Yeah.
The mid 90s.
Yeah, decades. Yeah, the 90s was decades ago. If you have to, I mean, we're old, right? We're getting up there a little bit. The 90s,
well,
we think of the 90s like, 40. Oh man, the 90s were awesome. I mean, there's a lot of people I'll talk to in my everyday life that weren't born in the 1900s at all. I mean, we're getting up there. It's not going to be long for all the 1900 people are gone. If you think about
that's
it, right?
why I've really gotten into metal detecting and like learning about the past. Dude, I found like old trails out here and stuff. It's great. I went into the Historical Society and found old maps and old newspaper articles. It's like where they used to rob frickin' stagecoaches and stuff, dude, on the Plum Creek. Apparently it was a good ambush point.
Amanda Lyons says, you're only as old as the person that you feel. Well, what if the person I feel is the same age as me?
Dude, I'm 45. You're probably 46.
Yeah.
And whatever, just get out there. Do what you want to do. Be a treasure hunter or a UFO spotter or a satellite spotter or just a freak. Get a cheap van and just go do stuff.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do.
I mean, take a camera with you. Because apparently a lot of people are complaining about that. Well, where's all these UFOs? How come everybody's got these cameras and they don't see any pictures of UFOs? Take your camera, go do some Scooby-Doo shit with 3 or 4 of your friends. It'll be the best time of your life,
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go. Open up the line and see if somebody else wants to call.
Good luck with the rest of the show, man.
All right, man. Have a good night, all right?
All right, later.
All right, bye-bye. And right away, how you doing, Conflict Radio? You're on the air.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going, man? What's your name and where are you calling from?
All right. Well, my name is Nick Zach, and I'm calling from Westchester County, New York.
All right.
And I've been listening to your show for a few years now. I'm a very big coast to coast guy. I got into coast to coast when I was 11 years old. I'm 38 right now. I'm going to be 39. And I've been into this my entire life, and I got to tell you, when was your Travis show? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was last night. Yeah.
All right. So I met him personally up in where the hell was I? I was with my girlfriend. We were up at Salem. All right. So we were at a UFO conference at Salem. This was 5 years ago. My girlfriend, she is intuitive, and she's very strong. She picks up everything from extraterrestrials to spirits to angels. She likes to be classified as an angelic intuitive. So when we met Travis Walton, she got a severe buzz around him, and she basically told me when Travis was talking to us, she said that he's not disclosing much of what happened because he just cannot remember, but he is the real deal.
Yeah, the problem I have with everything that's come out recently regarding that is the fact that you fooled all of these people in the truck into thinking a watchtower was a UFO, and I just don't see how that's possible. I'm not
No.
I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. I'm probably as smart, if not, I'm probably as smart as the loggers in the truck that day, and I'm going to know the difference between a UFO and a freaking cabin. You know what I'm saying? Or
Correct.
Watchtower.
Correct.
Or whatever.
Absolutely.
Hello. They put the pictures up like, oh, look at the windows. Like, really? It's a building, man. I'm not going to mistake a building for a UFO. I don't care how freaked out I am or how overworked I am. You're just not going to get that from me. I just don't.
Totally.
You're
right.
like
You're absolutely
especially
right.
with all the, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? The interrogations that were going on with these guys, thinking that they killed this guy. They're interrogating the crap out of him. You're not going to be like, well, I guess it could have been the fire tower. You know? Come on.
Yeah. Exactly. No, exactly. But she told me when we walked away from Travis, and she was still she was still open in a sense where she still receives messages, and whatever is around anyone, whoever was around Travis, meaning like a spirit guide or someone, they were telling her, they're like, listen, there's a lot that happened, and he just cannot disclose anything just yet because it's not being revealed to him. But there's a lot more to the story, like a lot more. But he has a hard time remembering. He thinks he remembers a lot, but he does not.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure. He was gone for 5 days.
Yep.
I would imagine there was a lot that was going on. And you hear what he said, like they actually moved his location. So whatever craft or wherever they took him initially, they went somewhere else and moved him somewhere else. So that tells me that it was, if it was a government thing, they could have snatched him up right there. There's that underground base right over there near Sedona. We know that there's an underground base there. Every time you talk about the underground base in Arizona, you can literally hear the government tapping your line, like wondering what you're saying about it.
Listen,
or he went, or it took him up to a mothership or something. But there was definitely, they took him somewhere else. So yeah, I would say that there's a lot he doesn't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll be in Sedona the next 3 weeks, and I'm going to be doing a lot of investigating with her because she's a conduit, man. And on my part, I'm going to tell you real quick, and I don't want to drag this out, but I've been having experiences since I was like 14 years old. Sorry for cursing, but every time I go outside, there are orbs above me, and I record them. I film them. I have a high zoom, high resolution camera, and I film them. So I've been posting them on my YouTube, and a lot of them have been getting deleted. And there is one that's up there. It's right on my YouTube where it's like a giant snake worm-like amoeba in the sky, and there are orbs around it, and it's actually releasing an orb. The video is like around, I think it's 7 minutes long, but I filmed it like 6 years ago, and it's the craziest thing. And as me being a researcher, I Googled the same thing that I've
what's
seen,
your
and it's
YouTube
all around
channel,
the
real
world.
quick? I'll bring it up.
All right, my YouTube channel is Smooth is Fast. I'm a race car instructor and a driver, so
All one
it's
word,
hard
or?
for me to put up. Yeah, Smooth is Fast. I mean, it's 3 words.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's all like with driving. But if you go like to the older videos, and my name is Nick Zach. The last name is Z-A-K. If you go to the older video, you'll see it. You'll see like it's a yellowish, weird-looking amoeba. And you know what the funny thing is?
I see it here. Let me bring it up and show everybody. Hang on.
Listen, I want to disclose, I'm not some weirdo. I have a full-time job. I'm a personal trainer. I'm an ex-bodybuilder, and I drive race cars.
So you're giving me permission to play this on the channel for everybody to see?
Oh, dude, please, rock out, man.
All right. I got it up there. Let everybody look at it. All right, but go ahead with your story while everybody's watching.
But I see things on a daily basis. I mean, I can't make this up. Whatever it is, I'm not saying it's extraterrestrial. It could be. It could be government. It could be something watching me, because I'm going to tell you right now, last 3 years, I've been meeting a lot of people that were in government, that were in the Navy. And every time I'm talking to them, you hear the phone go click, click, and then it just cuts out. And then I have to call the person back, or they call me back. And basically, there's just a lot of strange things going on. Cars following me. Like, you know when you're getting too close and too deep, you just got to, like, back up a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help that my girl, my fiance, she's very intuitive, and she discloses and she tells me everything, what it is, what's going on, and it's just so gnarly. But it's just, I can't explain it. You guys got to see it. I mean, that amoeba thing is just so bizarre. That's like the craziest thing I caught so far.
Yeah, that's funky looking, man.
And the thing is, if you hear the video, you can hear my reaction, and you can hear her in the background, like, you know, yelling at me and just being cute and funny, but it's not made up. Like, you can see as I zoom out and I zoom in, you can see how far I am and how strong my camera is.
Yeah, that's weird.
And the funniest thing is, I went to a MUFON conference up in Connecticut. This was 4 years ago, and I'm showing this video to all the MUFON heads, and the top guys are like brushing me off. They're like, "Oh, that's just a big balloon." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Can you just continue to watch the video?" And I'm like, I'm not saying this is a smoking gun here, but this is probably the gnarliest thing that you guys will probably see in a while. But
yeah,
these MUFON guys are
it kind of moves around. It's changing. It changes shape and everything. It's a pretty interesting video there.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, last thing, when I was at this MUFON conference, I'm listening to like a bunch of speakers. One guy comes in, taps on my shoulder. He's part of like the program. He's like, "Listen, can you step out into the hallway with me and bring your camera? I want to show your video to someone." I'm like, "Sure, no problem." He puts me in a classroom down the hall by myself with this guy. I don't know who he was. And he's like, "Can I see your video?" I'm like, "Absolutely." He's looking at the video. He shuts my camera and he's like, "Where did you post this?" I said, "On my YouTube channel." He's like, "When?" And I told him the date, and he's like, "Would there be a possibility you could take it down?" I said, "Absolutely not." "And why are you asking me to?"
Yeah.
He's like, just no reason. I'm like, and it's just so bizarre. And I'm like, why is this happening? And this is like a MUFON symposium. Like, aren't you guys supposed to, like, accept people that have experiences?
Yeah, you'd think so,
it's
right?
Really strange. Yeah, very strange.
All right, guys. So, let it go in the chat. What do you think that was? That was Distortion of Reality says it's a giant kite. Nothing to see here. I mean, I don't know.
Really?
I mean, it definitely seemed like a strange thing, the way it was changing shape and all.
So I'm going to tell you what my fiance said it was. She says it's a parasite. It's something that lives in our atmosphere. Some can see it, some cannot, but they live up high in the atmosphere, and it just cleanses our atmosphere because of all the dirt and muck and crap. But it's there. There are living parasites like amoebas in our atmosphere.
All right, the Desolate One wants to know if anyone else witnessed it. Was it a multi-sighting?
It was just me and my girlfriend. We were in her backyard. It was around, I don't know, it was 5:30 at night, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But that's it. But the thing is, I purposely zoomed out just to show you guys how far this thing was, because my eyes caught something immediately in the sky. I ran, got my camera, and I started filming. So I can't tell you that many people or anyone witnessed it but us, because it was so far.
All right, somebody else wants me to keep playing it, wants me to play it again. So let me get it and bring it up again here for everybody.
Totally.
I guess.
Totally.
What was the name of the channel again?
Smooth is fast.
All right, I'll bring it up again for everybody that wants to see here. Give me a second, guys. I'll get it. I know right where it is now. All right, here it is. Let me move it back over there. All right, so check that out, everybody. There it is. A Distortion of Reality says, was he on shrooms? I mean, the camera wasn't, right?
How? Yeah. No, how about this? My camera was on shrooms. Good one.
Well, and there's something else there. You could see the small other thing kind of bopping around it, like you said, an orb or a craft or something.
There are orbs. Correct. Yep.
God, right there, it almost it almost looks like a pool noodle.
Right, exactly. And at first, I'm telling you right now, I thought it was like a kite. I did, or like a whole bunch of balloons. But then I started zooming in with my camera. Like, wait a minute, man, this thing is moving like it has like some kind of life.
Yeah, that was a good close up right there. Let me pause that right there. Look at that. That doesn't look like balloons tied together, guys. That definitely looks like. It doesn't look like balloons tied together at all when I pause it like that there. That is an interesting video. And then there's something else. You can see there's two of them right there.
And if you wait till the end of the video, you will see it releases an orb right from it.
Oh, it releases an orb? I don't know if I saw that. Maybe that's what.
Yeah. Watch the end of the video. Watch, you'll see it. Let me see. I'll try to speed up and tell you the exact time frame.
Let's see here. Prince of the Powers of the Air.
225, 228, 230. If you fast forward to 235, you'll see this thing release something from it, and I zoom in on it.
All right, so I'll go to 226 here. We'll see.
Yeah, and just be patient. You'll see it. I can't make this up. It was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I saw
Again,
that.
like I said, this thing around this time when I filmed this back in 2015, people from around the world were witnessing the same thing. In Brazil, there was a few cases in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you're zoomed in really close because of the shakiness when it shakes around like that. It's because it's zoomed in so high.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, what a weird thing. You guys seeing that orb thing dropping out of there? I'm playing it a couple times so everybody can check it out. Richard Best, I don't think that's what it is. Attack of the Pool Noodles from Outer Space, Chuck Bam says. Man, what an awesome video, man. Thanks for calling in and sharing that with us.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother. Thank you.
All right, so you want to say anything to everybody before I let you go?
Listen, just keep your eyes up and keep them peeled in the sky. Even though we have all these phones, we're always looking down. But I'm telling you right now, you guys look up and you keep looking up, you'll see something. Real quick, 2 weeks ago during a thunderstorm, something told me to go outside and put my phone on slow motion and to film the sky right before it started raining. I started filming the sky. Believe it or not, I caught something that zoomed by while my phone was in slow motion. And when I saw the stills, I got another object, which is ridiculous. And this thing was so fast, even during slow motion.
Yeah.
So that's it. Just keep your eyes up.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty strange, man. Thanks for calling in, man.
No, thank you. Keep the show going, man. I love it.
All right, man. You got it. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right, guys. That was strange, wasn't it? Wasn't that? And that was weird. I love getting calls like that, and like go check out this video. And boy, what an interesting thing that was. Remember, guys, the lines are open right now. I guess we've got about 15 minutes left, unless nobody calls, and I'll just wrap up the show. But the number is 256-850-4513 if you want to give a call into the show, and let's see what you got to hear. Is there something that we need to look at, something we need to see? Let's see what everybody's talking about over in the chat room here. Corn Pop, no, we're not going to talk about Corn Pop. Come on, guys, that's ridiculous. David Gray says, if it was some kind of parasite, why do people get mad about it in the atmosphere? Like, why do they get mad about his video? I don't know why they get mad. Maybe if you're talking about them bringing it down, maybe they just don't want everybody to see it. You know, if it is something. The Desolate One says maybe an interdimensional craft. Heather Gillett says, did you upload it? Yeah, he did upload it. He took the video. It's his. So, all right, hang on. We got another call here. I got to bring that link up. Conflict Radio, you're on the air. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? This is Will.
Hey, Will. Will, from where?
I'm in Downingtown, PA.
All right.
I don't know if anybody knows where that is.
Oh, yeah, it's right near Bethlehem. I used to live in that area. I used to work at the Promenade right there in the Lehigh Valley.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you know the area.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was just going to say, the guy that just called in, I've heard them talk about that on other podcasts. That's an actual phenomena. I know people were joking around in the chat a bit, but he's not the first one to capture video of that kind of thing.
What is it?
I think they called them like flying rods or something.
Oh, the rods.
Yeah. But you can find other videos of it on
talked about
the
the
internet
rods all the time, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was a good call, though.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah, that's all.
What have you been up to?
That's all I wanted to say.
You sent me
I love your show, though.
Yeah, you sent me a message on Discord the other day, didn't you? Wanting to upload a segment of the show?
Oh, no, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
That might be another Will.
All right. So you haven't called the show before then?
No, it's my first time.
Oh, awesome. Well, welcome to Conflict Radio. For a second there, I thought you were another Will, yeah.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. Keep up the great work. I love your show.
Oh, man, I definitely appreciate the so what do you think's going on? Do you think it's interdimensional? Do you think it's like alien from another planet? What's the big picture, man?
I kind of like the idea of it possibly being some kind of creature that's able to, just kind of fly around in the atmosphere. Yeah, maybe it's interdimensional or something. I really don't know, but I definitely think there's something to it. I don't think it's like a, light flare or anything like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as common as the UFOs, but it definitely seems like it's something.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Footage I've ever seen.
You know how they're talking about UFOs are possibly alive, living, organic beings. What do you think of that idea?
I think it's possible. I don't know about alive, but I know, is it Bezos that's talking about putting chips in people at some point to help with like medical conditions?
No, that's Elon Musk.
Is that Musk? Yeah, I think it's kind of a similar idea in a way, where you have like man and sort of machine maybe interacting as one almost. Maybe we just don't have that technology yet.
Yeah. The Desolate One says, Conflict Radio, they call them Aki fish, AKY fish, however you say that. There was a guy who used to investigate them, so that's pretty interesting. Chuck Bam says maybe
Oh,
bugs,
that's cool.
bugs from another world.
I've never heard the Aki fish, but that's pretty cool.
Aki fish. I'm gonna write that down and Google that a little bit. Psychic dragons like Ric Flair. Woo! So did you check out that show last night with Travis Walton calling in on open lines?
No, I missed that one. I'm gonna go back and listen to the replay, but I'm sorry I missed that one.
Oh, that's all right. You should check that out, man. What a funny show that was. It was great to be a part of that. So.
I'll definitely watch it then. I really enjoy listening when I can.
Antonio is saying, "Look at the link I posted." I don't see a link, dude. I don't know where you posted, Antonio. If they are in fact demons, it explains the alive-looking ones. Man, it's a crazy world out there, isn't it, Will?
Yeah, it seems like things keep getting a little stranger, so I guess we gotta keep our seatbelts on. See where things go.
Yeah. I mean, definitely don't take your seatbelts off right now. I think it's about to get bumpy. I mean, what are they doing in Australia? I need to get Paul Beska to call in here. Like, I hear that they're flying around in helicopters, yelling at people to get inside. Like, what is going on? I guess Australia is one of the most tightly locked down places on the planet right now.
Is that all from COVID, right?
Skyfish, Conflict Radio. He says I got it wrong. It's Skyfish. Haha, spelt it wrong. All right, Skyfish. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes a little bit more sense. So thanks a lot. Go back in chat at Conflict. All right, so let me look here for a link. No, man, I don't see a link. I mean, post it again. Post it again, and I'll look at it. Post it again, Antonio. All right, man. So, anything else?
No. I appreciate you taking my call, and I'll look forward to, the rest of the show and more in the future.
All right, man. Well, we definitely appreciate your support and listening to us, and thanks so much for calling.
Oh, thanks, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. That was New Jersey area code, it looked like. 732. I think that's New Jersey. Let's see here. Blue Chicken says, where is this conflict? I'm in Sydney. Were you talking about the helicopters flying over? Paul Beska says, yeah, they want us to do the thing. Yeah, I know. Bash says the reports are overblown. Well, I mean, this is what I'm hearing in the U.S. that it's they've really got you guys locked down pretty good. It's pretty much basic lockdown, nothing special happening here in Oz. Vash says, guys, I got a lot of you guys from Australia, and it's really making me look into getting some Australian guests. And see if I can find this one I'm trying to get on the show. She hosts a podcast in Australia. Let me see if I can get her name here, and you guys can go check her out. Let me see if I can get the link to come up. Nothing seems to want to work right now. Let me try this one. Let's see here. Gem Hughes. You guys know who that is? Gem Hughes. Let's see here. Let's see here. She's from Melbourne, Australia, and she has a paranormal podcast. So I'm digging into some of these Australian researchers and Australian podcast goers just for you guys, because I love my Australian listeners, so I'm definitely looking out for you guys. So there you go. What do you guys, have you heard of that one? I guess I don't know what the name of the podcast is, and my internet's not letting me bring anything up. Oz rocks, Sir Wolf says. No, I can't say that, Chuck. Ian, myself, over $3 here. I've identified the worm. Rebellious Curious George says. Gas here for unleaded is $4.31 a gallon. Well, we're not actually too far from you. Actually, it's pretty much basic. Okay, all right. So I backed all the way up to the beginning. All right, guys. Well, I'm just gonna wrap up the show, I suppose. We made it. We're pretty close. We had a few calls. I hope you guys are having a good time. Thursday, we're gonna have Walter Bosley on again. Monday, Rich Gordano from Goof On is going to be on the show. That's going to be an early show because we're going to let him follow up after our show with his show. So we're actually going to come on at 5 Central Time, and then he comes on at 7 Central Time. So that'll be 6 for Conflict Radio and 8 for Goof On the 9th. And then the 12th, I've got Preston Dennett's going to join us. The 16th is Open Lines with Creepy Little Pete, haha, he'll love that one. And Paul Eno on the 23rd. And let's see, I've got Scott Mitchell on the 2nd of September, and there's a whole bunch more neat stuff coming up. So, all right. So there we go, Chuck Bam, whatever that means. Let's see, Conflict, not sure what's happening with the link, so I'll put it in the Discord later. Sky Entity, I will check it out. Check out Sky News channel on Ian myself. YouTube took down Sky News. Sky News isn't on YouTube anymore. They got axed today. So Ian myself, that's not going to work. Sky News is no longer on the YouTube platform. Too much truth. All right, guys. Remember, you can always find us online. Just go to www.conflictradio.net. Make sure to check out our podcast, I guess, on Apple, iTunes, Spreaker, and all of your normal podcast catchers. Check out our shirts and T-shirts and cups and all kinds of coffee cups and mugs and pints and hoodies and all kinds of neat stuff down there to help support the show. You can always become a member to have access to the band shows that we band on the channel. They are in the members area. So, the shows that have been, banned by me, the shows that are banned by me are available in the members section. You can always check that out. Plus, it's a way to support the show for $2.99 a month or something. It's the lowest that they could, that I can make the subscribers. And we got a call. We're just about to end the show. Conflict Radio, you're on the air. How you doing? Hello. You're on the air. No? Okay. All right, and that is that. We are done for today, guys. Definitely check out our website. Some really neat stuff there. And let me get rid of this. I want to bring this up. And have a good night, everybody. We'll be back on Thursday.
See the aircraft that were clearing